Hi, thank you for coming in today. We are here today to talk about your son Johnny. Before we start, do you have any questions or concerns?
Hi, nice to meet you. Yes, I do have some concerns and questions. Since Johnny came from China, their education were teacher centered. In teacher centered education, students put all of their focus on the teacher. For example, when you speak, students would attentively listen. During activities, students work alone and collaboration is discouraged. By the way, how is Johnny doing with the new approach of students centered instructions?
Well, Johnny has transitioned very well. As a second grader, he seems very social when working in groups. So at home, what does Johnny enjoy doing?
Johnny enjoys drawing, watching TV, and playing sports like soccer, basketball, and football.
Thank you for your insight about him. Learning about his hobbies will help me differentiate my lessons to help him. Since I know he enjoys drawing, I can use more pictures to help him build vocabulary. Also, I can incorporate movement to help him learn new vocabulary. In today's meeting, we will go over his strengths, his needs, and about RTI. RTI stands for Response to Intervention. So let's start with Johnny's strengths. He seems very social and gets along very well with his peers. Also, Johnny is very persistent and tries his best all the time. He enjoys playing with cars, listening to stories, and since Johnny is an English second language learner, he struggles with comprehending questions. This is where RTI can help him grow.
Can you please explain what more about RTI, what it is about, and how I can help him with that?
Sure, RTI is a way to help all students succeed, including struggling learners. Ultimately, the goal of RTI is to prevent failure and make all students successful learners. So, RTI has three tiers. The first tier is high quality classroom instruction screening and group intervention. The second tier is targeted interventions. And the third tier is intensive intervention and comprehensive evaluation. In the first tier, all students receive high quality scientifically based instruction provided by qualified personnel to ensure that their difficulties are not due to inadequate instruction. All students are screened on a periodic basis to establish an academic and behavioral baseline to identify struggling learners and who need additional support. So students not showing adequate progress are moved to tier 2. So in tier 2, targeted intervention, students not making adequate progress in the regular classroom in tier 1 are provided with increasingly intensive instruction matched to their needs on the basis of levels of performance and rates of progress. These services or interventions are provided in small group settings. In addition to instructions in the general curriculum, students who continue to show too little progress at this level of intervention are then considered for more attentive interventions as part tier 3. In tier 3, at this level, students receive individualized intensive intervention that are targeted to the student's skill deficits. Students who do not achieve the desired level of progress in response to these targeted interventions are referred for a comprehensive evaluation and considered for eligibility for special education services under the Individual with Disability Education Improvement Act of 2004, also known as IDEA 2004. So being referred to special education is not necessarily bad for your child. It's just they will get more support that they need to help them progress. So in tier 1 of RTI, we would use strategies that we would use is since Johnny needs to gain the fundamental skills such as phonemic awareness and phonics, he would be provided with opportunity with vocabulary development throughout the day. So scaffolding language would include paraphrasing keywords, providing opportunities to send answers, and supporting language by using familiar synonyms and familiar antonyms. Also, We will provide opportunities for him with appropriate peer learning, including peer pairing and small group instructions. So in tier 2, what we would provide for him is we'll use appropriate practice for building oral skills and vocabulary development as well as reading skills. And then we would ensure that interventions are significantly intense by retaining small groups of 3 to 6 who are provided intervention for a minimum of 30 minutes a day. So in tier 3, we will have a ESL teacher with a strong background in literacy, a learning disability teacher who has a strong background with an understanding of educational needs of ELL students. So also we will adjust the instructions to his needs to be made with consideration given to the integration of contextual factors, family, personal, and classroom variables that may need to be addressed as necessary, which may require highly individualized reading instructions that consider other factors such as attention, language, vocabulary development, and behavior problems.
Thank you for the information. In addition to RTI, how can we help Johnny at home?
So you may help Johnny at home by reading books to Johnny. Although Johnny may not understand all of the words at first, he will be able to pick up new vocabulary and grammar along the way. Exposure is important. Another way is using fun ways to practice and learn language is to engage in creative activities. For example, making a scrapbook. So scrapbook together featuring things that have taken place in your new home, new city, or anything that's in his interest, and then caption it with a title in English. Also, since he likes movement, you can play games like charades that can help him learn new vocabulary. So in addition to helping Johnny at home, we have an after school program. This after school tutoring program can help him progress and learn new vocabulary because there's a one-on-one tutoring. So do you have any other questions?
Not at this time, but I will keep in contact with you about his progress, and if I have questions, I will contact you. Thank you.
Okay, this concludes our meeting, and if Johnny doesn't make any progressions, we will schedule another meeting. Thank you for coming.